Create a forward and backwards multi-hybrid planter. So he was using the pusher rows on one hybrid and the puller rows on a second hybrid.
So I have never drove anything other than a John Deere tractor. So we're still on vacation. Before you guys get into this video, I wanted to let you guys know that this video is kind of skippy, but it gives you kind of like a good idea as to what happens at the PTI farm. So be sure to go check it out. Like I said before, it's a really good thing to go look at. It gives you a lot of insight and you learn a lot of different things you never thought you'd learn. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoy it, and I figured I'd put this at the beginning so then that way you know what you're getting yourself into.
Create a forward and backwards multi-hybrid planter. So he was using the pusher rows on one hybrid and the puller rows on a second hybrid. By having them close enough together, they were able to still kind of just jog over a little bit with the combine, and they used that to plant multi-hybrid in a few studies. And he just loved the fact that technology was getting close enough that he could not have to sacrifice where his hybrid placements were going to be. So that was starting to drive it. Kinsey also was working on it as well. And so what we did is we took V-Drive and we basically flipped one of them around and we squished them as close as we could together. And VSET Select uses 2 VSET meters with 2 hopper sections, and it drops down the single seed tube. Well, as soon as we did that, at the same time as releasing Speed Tube, we created a little bit of a catch-22. Do I want hybrid placement, or do I want more acres in an hour? You couldn't,
was it because you
couldn't
run
do
3
both.
Motors at the same time on one row unit, or
Physically wasn't space. If you look at how Speed Tube slides up against the meter, there wasn't the ability to slide in between those 2 meters. And so what we ended up working on was, all right, how do we do both? And so now MSET uses just a single VSET V-Drive meter. And then at the bottom, what we've actually done is we drop in the seed selector into the hopper. By doing that, at the bottom here of this hopper, I'm constantly spoon feeding one side or the other.
So they're letting us come out here now, and we're gonna look at this. So I have never drove anything other than a John Deere tractor, and yeah, so we're now gonna look at this.
And I won't let you come any closer than this line right here.
Okay, okay. So this is a Finnet on a, what did you say that was? A Finnet on just a John Deere plant.
With, it's got a 1770 on it. We got 4 different liquid tanks set up. And then there's 3 VFI HPs on every row. You'll see that there is a reveal on this side, which they must have the airbags pulled up right now because they're fully off the ground. Dual sided on the conceal, automated closing on the furrow course, and it actually would have V-Drive insecticide as well.
Okay. So
fully decked out. That's what plants the majority of this farm out here.
Wow. So then this is the momentum. This is what I really want to see.
Oh, that's money. That was 14 seconds. You ever get nervous when you start to see it get up like 12, 13?
Yeah, you're like, ugh.
I gotta wrap this
No one's gonna stick around this long.
So this 8R here is like what we're getting ready to get. Ours is a 410 though.
Did you stick your camera on a planter?
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna get run
It's up
over,
there.
you dork.
Nope. I don't get run over.
Oh, I don't get. You haven't yet.
Not yet. I will one day, don't worry. And then, I don't know, there's just so much stuff going on here and so many different planter setups in general. I mean, you got 4 different planters out here plus that one over there.
What
And
are
from
the
what I
odds?
understand, they all got something different on them.
For the most, I mean, varying differences, yes. That is a Harvest 20-inch row with Harvest laser proto row units on it. That's pretty much got about everything on it from a more basic level, more like the row 5, where more common to see an actual farmer have, not like this one that has you're micromanaging every single seed based on in-furrow, inoculants.
Are they actually applying liquid right now? Is that just water?
Just water.
on them?
It's just water, yeah.
So, what are the odds that Alex could like get up on the white planter and just ride between the CCS tanks and get some sweet freaking panning around like this?
I would say yes, but I don't want you guys to hear that.
Okay, well I'll just tell him.
Some people just like to go along for the ride.
Okay, so what's your name?
Eli.
Hey, I'm Alex Rush.
Hey.
So I have never drove a Finnet. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
That's clutch?
Yeah, you probably won't need that right off the bat anyway.
Okay.
I would use that to stop whenever it's time, but so there is a little button here on the side.
Okay.
So you're just gonna hit that button and click and push the stick forward, and that basically puts it in the gear. And then once you're in the gear, then it's just kind of bump it to get to speed it up a little bit. So right now we're
So then is it all foot? No, it isn't. Okay.
yeah. So you can I'd say like
Okay.
13 or so.
So it's just tractor basically.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Let me get you there.
Okay, so we're in this Finnet planter. What does this white planter have on it exactly?
Planter's got V-drive, hydraulic downforce, delta force, speed tube. It's also got our furrow force closing system, manually controlled from the cab. And we do have a couple of our new Reveal row cleaner units on here, and it does have liquid fertilizer sensing as well, or electromagnetic flow sense, monitoring just a ground drive pump.
Okay. So then this is your 2020, right?
Yep.
And this is a Gen 3 display?
Gen 3 2020.
And then you're holding the same thing and you're controlling.
Yep, so this is controlling, that's controlling. We can each control whatever we want to on both of these displays.
Interesting. Okay. So then you come up here to the end, and I'm going to guess you hit this,
Yeah, you can just click it up.
click it up, and then you go over and hit the next line.
Yep.
So how rough does this tractor get?
Oh, it ain't too bad. It's pretty smooth out here.
Oh, I didn't turn enough. You guys need some bigger planters. Whoa. All right, I just need to set the GoPro down. Right.
We're down.
I will say that is a little bit different just clicking that button.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm used to holding on it.
Yeah.
And the deers. Well,
Yeah,
you don't
I'm used
hold
to
on
doing it all down here.
Yeah.
It's all right there on the stick. Yeah, you know, can make it handy.
Okay, so right here we're looking at this. This one has the the furrow thing, right?
It is, yeah. So it is. It does have in-furrow liquid in it. It does have a smart firmer.
Smart firmer. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for. And this is that's what all this is saying. It's 32.1 population.
Yep.
99.8% singulation.
Yep.
Now, what I'm going to be interested to see is whenever we get up to speed, what it does.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it's showing your organic matter, your furrow moisture, even how clean your furrow is.
Yeah, clean furrow is a measure of kind of residue in the furrow.
Okay.
So right now, I mean, conventional till don't have a ton of residue. So, but we have row cleaners on half the planter, but really don't see a big difference just because we're in pretty low residue area here.
Okay, so then I'm going to try and do this better this time.
If you want to get up to speed, you can jog over a couple lines. We can get past these guys. You can get on the other side of that deer, and then
Hit
get
it.
up to speed a little bit.
So then this one has speed tubes too.
Yeah, it does have speed tubes.
I have been wanting to get speed tubes on a couple of our planters.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so is this in the right spot, you think?
Yeah, go ahead and hit it. Yep, you're on.
Woo! All right, so then now we just kind of go for it.
Yep, bump it up.
So then we are actually planting seed too.
Yeah,
They did tell us that. I thought they was kind of joking around when they said that we was planting seed.
No, it's a real thing.
We are actually planting seed. I wonder how many times this same field's been planted though.
Oh, hundreds.
So how fast will this go with speed tubes?
Oh, I mean, guys will push 10 a lot of times. Right now we're 8. We're still holding 99.8.
Yeah. So can I touch? Is that
go
touch?
ahead. It should go to a bar graph. There you go.
Okay.
So that's just showing your skips and multiples, which right now we're hovering right around 0.
Okay. And that's good. I mean, I kind of know what the singulation and a lot of that stuff is because we have the Exactimer on our, or maybe 8 mile an hour is a little bit too fast. Oh, now you're trying to get her to go fast, huh?
Yeah, we can get her going. Yeah, going 9.
Wow. I'm amazed at how smooth this tractor is, though.
Yeah, it is.
That or it's the field. One of the two.
I mean, the field itself's pretty smooth, but it's got a pretty smooth ride to it.
So and then what?
Yeah, you can start pulling back on that. Yep. Keep bumping it back and it'll slow down. There's some tile out here, so it gets a little bit rough. That's why we're only staying on this half.
Okay, I got it this time.
Yeah, you got it.
And I didn't go down there far enough to turn around either.
Hey, this is all just a test track. You can do whatever you want to out here. Doesn't have to look pretty.
Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Now we got somewhere. So now what are you looking at there?
Same thing you're looking at. So you can tap on the home button.
Home button?
There. Yeah, so that's got basically all your metrics on it. So there you can tap on standard.
Standard.
And I'll give you a bigger map.
Okay.
So there we're looking at.
So that's showing your skips.
That's showing, yep.
Skips, multiples, and you're good. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. I'll have to look into getting one of these things. That's fancy.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy.
I will say though, it's probably a good thing I slowed down a little bit. So anyways, thank you for the rundown.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming out.
So, can you give me a little bit of a rundown on the planter situation here? Now, I know that one up there, that one looks rather snazzy. It doesn't look dirty.
Yeah. So, that's a 20-inch planter. Jason Webster does all his 20-inch plots out here on the farm with that one.
Okay.
The Momentum gets used on 30-inch plots out here. This one here is new to the farm. We just got it for the ride drive section.
Okay.
That one does all of Jason's liquid trials.
Okay. So, that's one thing I do find interesting. You guys have completely changed around that entire planter, right?
Yeah.
You guys turned that entire planter around, and I'm gonna guess what year is that planter?
So it didn't even have fast row units on it when we got it, so it's probably 2003.
So
it's probably like an 01.
It's pre-2003, and you guys are using that for research. Now, what I find interesting about that is you guys are doing that. That means that you guys are not just researching for the newer farmers that can really bug out something. You're researching for farmers that can do that.
Yeah, so that's probably an 01 planter. We put row units on it that are cast, probably from like an 07, 08 planter. And then we just rebuilt it all, took all the ground drive stuff off, put V-drive on it, Delta Force, a lot of different
Completely
products
decked it out.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I'll probably ought to catch up with my group. I bet they're wondering where I'm at.
All right, thank you.
My group took off and left me, and I'm gonna blame Erin and Carl.
I don't think that's a group. No, that's yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. There they are.
Uniformity of emergence, not just emergence, but I'm looking at the uniformity in the emergence that occurred. And I want to know, is there a difference from green to blue? What's the difference here? So Webster did this last year, and he did it a little bit more intense, because that's what Webster does. And he has interns, so he's got unlimited. He's got unlimited time. They did this every 12 hours. And actually, when you go inside for lunch, you'll see the ear board to your right as you walk through. 12 hours of difference last year was a 12% reduction in weight. Are you going to see 12% with your eyes? No. you've got to see 12% with the scale. 24 hours, we drop back a little bit more. 36, we drop back a little bit more. So the idea is this. When we have a plant that comes up a bit later, we know there's a competition effect that takes place.
The most important part of a farm can be a stick that long that costs like 5 cents.
So a few of you guys, y'all want to measure depth? See
So
how
let's-
deep we are?
Let's real quick talk through our dimensions and then we'll dive in.
Okay.
So we've got written up here, these are the dimensions that we're going to look for. I'll let you all fill these in. I'm gonna on the first one I'll lob you a softball.
I ruined it for you, I
Yeah,
guess.
what's our first one?
Yeah.
Okay, why does depth matter?
Moisture profile, speed
What I'm
of
looking
emergence.
for is where my moisture profile sits, right? Is it the same at the top of the hilltop as it is in the bottom? Okay, so come on up.
Run over quite a few times too, so we might be getting to the point we need to increase our pressure keeper open down here.
So as we look at this, what changed from the pass before to here? Is there
So they gave us all these fancy mics, and like we're clipping them in.
You good there?
Like, this is the behind the scenes of a
I'm gonna take this mic home.
live stream, I guess. You're gonna take.
Oh, look at
Hey,
this! I put it in my pocket.
we better cover his ears.
This is the future of auto steer right here. Human interference. All right, Lego. I got this thing.
Stop.
What about soybeans? You guys agree that growers are planting soybeans earlier than what we ever had? Yes?
You told us to.
It didn't work so well this year where I got frosted. But I do think we've been planting earlier. And my reason is yield. And I'm going to show you something. Now, when we can get out and plant early, this year my earliest planting date, look at that stake right there. It says March 10th. It's the earliest I've ever planted soybeans. I wasn't quite ready to plant then, but it got fit and we went and planted. Now, when I can plant early, 4th week of March, 1st week of April, 2nd week of April, my yields are 16.3 bushel better than what I would call traditional planting dates around the 1st of May. 16 bushel yield on beans. That's a lot, isn't it? That's why guys have been trying to push this.
Are you changing your maturities that you plant at a later date?
Oh, great question. Are we changing maturities? All right, we're going to have a battle of the wagons here. Guys, if you could plant beans early, are you going to plant an early maturing bean or a later maturing bean? Go.
Later.
Later. What do you guys say?
Later.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
So I'm in this bennett with. I never did get your name.
Brian.
Brian. With Brian, and we got these road cleaners on here. What do you guys call them exactly?
Reveal.
The Reveal road cleaners from them, and he's gonna take on this iPad here. Yeah.
2020.
And he's gonna turn it down. And I got a GoPro shed back there on it, and hopefully you'll be able to see it go down. So he's gonna go down with it now. Is that digging it down real hard?
Yep. So we're down 90 pounds down right now.
And then can you go down farther than that, or is that as far as you
I
can
can
go?
keep going. There's 115 down.
Wow. That's how amazing how fast that reacts.
And if I want to lift them all the way, I can lift them up all the way as well. In case I don't need them pushing down too much.
So then with this fendant, you just kind of hit the go button and it goes up to speed. He's got it set up special, I guess.
That's right.
But we'll sit here and he'll go back in there again. If you would please turn it back down.
Yep, so I'm at 30 pounds lift right now. I'm going to slide it down so we're at 100 pounds down. So you'll see those start to engage the ground a little bit more.
And then you can see it starting to kick up more dirt back there too, for sure, even from here. So
then we can take it to a preset. We'll go back to 30 pounds lift.
and it'll lift right back up.
That's pretty snazzy.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Thank you for showing me that.
No problem.
So, anyways, I appreciate it. And you can do
Thanks for coming out.
whatever you want with that now. But I had to bug you about it.
So I did just learn something interesting. They got this Harvest International toolbar here, and he was telling me that basically they make this bar, or they have somebody that makes this bar for them to sell and put basically just precision planting stuff on it.
Yeah, Harvest International makes the toolbar and makes the row units, but they don't sell a planter equipped with technology. And so then a number of precision planting dealers make custom planters utilizing various brands, Harvest International being one, Agco toolbars being another, some stack folds, it's more builds or different ones. But this is a Harvest International planter and row units, then with precision planting technology to power the whole planter. So downforce control, fertilizer control, closing, metering, all that's from precision planting.
And that's interesting. If you really want to get after it, this is the way to go. This is literally just precision planting.
And Harvest International.
And Harvest International. Harvest International
makes,
and precision planting.
Yeah. Yep.
There's no other tech on it though.
Every part that you can't buy from Precision.
Correct.
So
yeah.
Tell me about this. I've never seen anything like this.
So that's
What's
the gauge
idea
wheel.
with the.
All right. So you think about a row cleaner. Sometimes if they're plowing too much soil, or they're moving a large mat of residue, sometimes with the angle they're at, they'll leave a mound right here of soil and residue. And if the outside of your gauge wheel runs on that mound, you compromise depth, you shallow up. You might be planting an inch deep in a 1 inch deep furrow you've made. So this is a conceal gauge wheel. That's why the split is there. Conceal is this fertilizer application product. But the reason for this outside ring is this is a narrow gauge wheel. So there's 3-inch gauge wheels, and then it's the typical gauge wheel on a planter is 4.5 inches wide. The narrower gauge wheel keeps the outside of your gauge wheel inside the row cleaner, so you don't run the risk of running on that mound.
But you are also on 20-inch spacing here, aren't you?
Yep, we're also on 20-inch spacing here.
That explains all of that.
If you've got a narrow row cleaner, that's a narrower angle, you want to be inside that. You don't want to be riding on the outside of the gauge wheel, riding on that residue. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like that's a narrow conceal gauge wheel with the split. This is just a regular narrow 3-inch gauge wheel. Okay. So we basically just have that ring out there to pin residue down and so on, but there's also a wide conceal gauge wheel.
So they basically explained this to me just now, as this is an albino row unit. It is nothing else. It is an albino row unit. But they paint them so then that way you can see the differences in what you have to put onto these units. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff through here. I mean, everything you could possibly think of is on here, even furrow force. We're gonna try and run some of that next year. But they got a couple of them set up in here, and pretty interesting. They even got this new conceal.
Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, follow our Instagram, Facebook page, and check out Precision Planting. The link is in the description below to sign up to go to the PTI Farm in Illinois. So be sure to check out that link and go check it out. Like I said, very good show to go watch. Anyways, we got one more day on vacation and we'll be back in town on Monday. So yeah.